In this video, I want to talk about the UFC and how in the last month they've had two major, somewhat upsets for the company and like how that's gonna impact um, its image or its persona because as we all know there has been there has been a huge shift with some of their stars losing fights or being overconfident in losing fights, and especially how that is going to affect the popularity of the sport, or how negatively it might have influence on the sport. So, like marketing wise, how they might lose. Valid fans or or um, if that just fuels the company's desire to be more controversial and they've always tried to push the envelope. I think so. The topic that I'm talking about is Ronda Rousey's loss is probably the biggest thing I'll probably want to catch up on because she was like the face of the company. So for her being so um, overconfident, you may say, going into the fight, like even going on Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show, and predicting somewhat her own loss. The only way she could get knocked out, like lose her title, is what exactly happened. She she seemed very confident and believed her own hype too much, I think, and I think that kind of hurt the UFC as a whole because like she was considered like the best fighter as a woman, which we now know is not really the case. In my opinion, I'm making a huge case that Holly Holmes, the current champion, the girl that beat her, um, actually came in there with a plan. Wasn't really feeling the hype or wasn't even getting involved in this um, whole social media war between Ronda Rousey just being like so overly zealous and overly thinking that she could win. So uh, that was kind of, I think, her downfall. Like even marketing wise, you know what I mean. She was like the top seller for them, but like now that she's lost and she's kind of been out of the limelight for the month since it happened. And the UFC has tried to focus back on like the men's now, especially after last weekend, with Conor McGregor beating Jose Aldo, who has been named the pound for pound best. Prior to that bout, and well, Conor McGregor finished him in the quickest finish in UFC history, like male wise, like so, because Ronda Rousey beat one of her opponents in 14 seconds. This was in 15 seconds. But he also predicted this a couple days before the fights, said that he would knock out Aldo before the first minute. So um, um, his his Irish and his the way he is fired up and stuff could kind of somewhat backfire for the UFC because he's very outspoken. He doesn't really care what anybody thinks, so that can kind of bring a uh, bad image to the company itself. So sponsors might be a little bit turned off by it. Like even though they have a huge deal with Reebok that they signed last year, so which in turn also kind of makes it difficult for athletes to have their own sponsorships to bring them on to the fights because they make less money because Reebok is the sponsorship for the whole UFC, like not just one fighter but everyone. So it kind of makes them lose some income from their own sponsors that they might have, restricts them. So, and especially using Conor McGregor, who is a, I think he is fantastic for attracting people's people's interests to the fights that he's in, because you either love him or you hate him. I personally enjoy him because he's European and I kind of go with flow. I kind of like that he's like, it's me against everyone else, and I'm gonna come in there and show you guys that I'm the best. So, because when he came in, people didn't really take him serious, and he's just gone in and done a lot of things to promote himself as one of the best. So, being outspoken, but he is getting a lot more media attention, and social media has helped him create a better create a better social media image, which is like huge now, because like as we've seen also again in branded the video like that we talked about in class, like how social media can be a launching pad for people to get to know you. So I feel like he has used that as a springboard for him to get the title shot first and foremost, because he was just really focused and really determined. He knew exactly what he was doing, which in turn might not work really well with the UFC. Same with Holly Holmes. For her to bring in putting in a little bit of a dent into Dana White's idea of Ronda Rousey being the best was kind of huge, I find. And like now they have to kind of get a rematch, which means they're going to get more money out of this again. So they get to milk this kind of feud twice. And like I said, social media makes it very interesting component on how people can perceive certain things or screw them in their own benefits, so they can get a more marketable tool. And I feel like sport has become very much a social media component, because if you don't have it, it's very difficult and to get a connection with the fans. So fans engagement again, like this is another thing that social media does a lot, and like I feel like Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey have definitely displayed that social media aspect quite well. Now that Holly Holmes is the champ, she has a little bit more of a responsibility, which I think is great. She's very soft-spoken, quiet personality, but also proves that you don't have to be so outrageous to be a champion or to be pushed. And if you do your best and you put your effort in, you're gonna get rewarded. So that's what I feel like. I feel like social media has become a very big part for marketing purposes in sports, anyway. Especially like you can see that in the UFC. That's an example of today, especially on Saturday. I think everybody was watching it last Saturday. How everyone is and like was into the fight, and was a great card too prior to that. Two upsets, somewhat you might say, with Chris Weidman losing as well. So the marketing tool of making this like a personal thing by using such an outspoken character like Conor McGregor to push the UFC to the next level was, I think, very strategically done by the company and used quite well to attract more fans and to get more buck for their worth. So that's what I feel like. Everything was kind of driven financially still, even though like it's a fight, but like I think everybody was more focused on the bottom line again, and social media has become a tool where you can use that and do that and create a bigger buzz about things.